Just pause. Him not right for you, I think you need to live from the boy too boring him for make you have fun. Him accuse if he allow you no more time you people your man done. Stop fight with him, make him fight for you like Tyson. You're too nice to him, make him fight for you like Tyson. Breaking news. Man, girl, kiss a casa, too good. Breaking news. Two.
1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let's go. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know if I was live or not. Did you see me do it? I wasn't picking in my nose or nothing like that. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yes. Happy Sunday. I want to see some comments in the chat. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Tiffany Riley. I see you. It's always a vibe when it's a vibe in the building. Yes. Yes, absolutely. This is not a dragon session, ladies and gentlemen. However, I must speak about this. And I've done this in the past, but I had to really go in today. I got to go in. I have to. Enough is enough. Enough of the goofy stuff that we are seeing online. Enough is enough. And I don't know if you guys have read the description of this video. Just read the description. But enough is enough. We ain't got time for the games. We ain't got time to mislead the people. And if you have the position of leadership, then you must exercise it wisely. You cannot just do things for clicks and views. You must be able to provide to your audience the truth as you know it. And I said as you know it. If you have a big platform, and we're going to go right into it. We're talking about the Neighborhood Talk today. I've never met Kyle, who's the proprietor of the Neighborhood Talk. I've communicated with him through DMs, but I've never really met him. So I don't really know type of the character the person is. But I will say this. If I'm posting a story, I've pretty much vetted the story before I posted it. I've done the research. I've also consulted with experts. And I saw what was posted right after I did my post on Twitter. And right after I was on the live with an attorney. And enough is enough. And I think it's about time that those who are not scared to speak up. And what are you scared about? If you're standing on your square, you should be scared about anything. You should not be scared about anything. So let's go into what I'm talking about. So right after I reported the bankruptcy update involving Tasha K and Cardi B, the Neighborhood Talk went on their page, and I looked at the time. It was literally, it wasn't even within an hour. No one had really picked the story up. But I'm going to shout out those who picked the story up and those who actually put the receipts up front. I have no reason to make up stories about Tasha K. No reason at all. Nor do I want to see any harm done to that woman. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not going to speak on who said it, but I don't wish death on that person. I don't wish death on her family. I don't wish death on anybody. So we got to be careful about what we put out in the universe. And I saw what was said. I wish death on no one. So don't get the reporting mixed up with someone's ulterior motive. It's a news story. But when you take it beyond a news story and wishing harm on others, harm will come back to you. Karma is not isolated to one person. Karma is spread about. So we don't wish death on anyone. This is a news story. I wish no death on neither one of them. But we have to be responsible in our messaging. We have to, because people follow you, and there's some psychos out there that will run with your words and think this is your intention. I've been doing this news thing for a long time. I've seen how sickos will stalk celebrities, will say the weirdest things, and they'll do it based on what they believe the intention of the other person was trying to project. And some of you may be very young, will probably not remember the Jim Jones massacre, where he convinced people to drink cyanide. And people can understand this. This is probably in the 70s. I want to say 70s. It was definitely in the 70s. He convinced people to drink cyanide because they followed him and they didn't use their own common sense and say, why would I kill myself? Because there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. But I just want to say, let's not conflate a news story reporting with anyone wishing death on someone. Because no one on the internet is that important for me to wish death on them. I know people click up and they click up on online, they click up in real life, but let's be honest. That lawsuit has really nothing to do with us as far as paying it back or making good on that lawsuit. It has nothing to do with us. It's a news story. I'm a journalist. I reported it. And that's it. Don't conflate anything I report as me wishing harm on someone. Well, I've seen other YouTubers do that. I can't cross that line because you can't come back from crossing that line. And someone must speak up when you see stuff like that. I don't wish death on anyone, especially people I'm reporting about in my news stories. The minute I start doing that, I need to stop the profession I'm in. I need to stop it. Because now I'm not in the profession for the reason why I got in the profession. So if you see me crossing that line, you know I'm probably not going to be doing this anymore. I'm not going to use my voice to promote something that will bring violence to someone else. I'm not going to do that. There's no point in that. So if you see that behavior, call it out. Nah, man, you're crossing the line there. You're doing a little too much there. Make people accountable for their words. Because sometimes those words can lead to action. And a lot of times it can lead to action. But don't conflate my reporting to suggest, insinuate, or agitate a situation, because that's not what I do this for. I report it is what it is. So with that said, the Neighborhood Talk came on their platform, and posted a story trying to refute what my reporting was. I don't know if they cleaned it up yet. I'm not going to post the post, but I did see it. And before you try to refute a person's story, do your own research. Don't just post things and mislead people and have people in my inbox say, oh, Mr. Byron, I don't know if the story is right because it was on the Neighborhood Talk. I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on over there, but I get it. You want me to see what they were talking about. But don't discredit me. Don't discredit the experts I bring on. These are lawyers with law degrees. Law degrees. I will put my degrees up against your degree. If you think I'm not going to research a story before I put it out. I just had a conversation today with someone about using some artwork and the way it was created. And I said, that may not pass the test. We might want an IP attorney to look at it. And they oh, well, this person posted. I don't care if someone posted it. That doesn't indemnify you from a lawsuit. So you got to be able to be indemnified from things when you start putting your name on certain situations. And I don't know if this is going over many people's heads, but you just don't post things and regurgitate a lie or a story, a false story that can come back and bite you. You got to be very careful out here. Just because a big blog posted something doesn't mean it's authentic. It passed the test. So With that said, the neighborhood talk went on their page and basically said, nah, the case is not what it is. It's basically not that. It's not dismissed. I didn't say the case was dismissed. I said there was a summary judgment as to what the motion was filed by Cardi B's attorneys. So that's a difference in saying dismissed. No one said in my reporting, me nor my guest said in my reporting, that the case was dismissed. Because the bankruptcy is bigger than just one part of it. There are different elements to the bankruptcy. What I said and what I'll stick by today is that there's a summary judgment in favor of Cardi B as it relates to $3.4 million. So I did the calculation as well. I just didn't go and tell somebody it's just about interest. I was astonished that someone would just believe that she was fighting for just interest, or that a judge would just sign off on interest. That makes no common sense. And it shouldn't even ended on that man's page. So when you look at these damage control type posts, you think outside of the box. You just don't go accept what someone's posting. You think outside the box and you research. You make phone calls. Do you know, before I put a story out, I reach out to different people and I ask them, what do you think? Then I look at the law. Then there's citations. If they would, let me just tell you how thorough I am. I will pull the citation up to the reference that the judge is making based on the law. I just don't read the layers of it. I delve into it and see whether or not this will support the story. So when I say I have to call neighborhood talk out, that was a very irresponsible post, and you basically shitting on a reporter who makes a living doing this for real. I am not an armchair expert. I do the work. I am not an armchair expert. I do the work. I am the only Black media outlet that has been approved to cover the Trump trial. It didn't happen like that. It required some work. They're just not letting anyone in the courtroom, if they don't know they can trust the integrity of what they put out. Imagine me, they're approving me, and I'm going to put propaganda out. I leave the courtroom every day with propaganda. You don't support propaganda. You don't support fake news. I don't need to have 10 million followers to give you the truth in the story. And that's what you should always look for when you're reading. And if you have kids, you tell this to your children. You ask this, you quiz them. You know, my mother used to do to me when I had to do homework assignments. She would go right behind what I did and looked into it and see whether or not I was actually doing the work. This is what my mother did when I was young. And anyone that knew me growing up, they knew not only was I always I was either top 5 in my class or the top 10 in my class. And I graduated cum laude. You don't do these things and achieve these accolades without doing research. I have no reason to lie to you because, again, at the end of the day, it's my name at stake. So all I'm saying is the blogs like the Neighborhood Talk and the other blogs out there, do your damn research. Don't come back and say, oh, this is not what it is. Don't try to discredit someone because I'm going to come back at you. I'm going to come back at you. I'm going to come back at you. So don't try to discredit people because for whatever ulterior motive you had for doing that, I had to address it. And if anyone thinks I'm wrong about speaking on this, you put a 1 in the chat, say, Mr. Byron, you're wrong. But if you think I'm right, put a 2 in the chat. Because at the end of the day, there's been so much disinformation put out in the public that people don't know who's telling the truth. Because you mix good stuff with bad stuff. And they reported, they have posted some of my stuff. But don't come back and say, no, it didn't happen that way. I've never said the case was dismissed. I said there's a summary judgment. And in civil trials, there could be you can file a motion based on certain evidence that was already brought up in the hearing. You can say, Your Honor, based on these facts and circumstances, I ask you to issue a summary judgment in favor of the plaintiff. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And I would say this: no one's really reported this either. So if you see all these people reporting this right now, know where you heard it from. The other $500,000 that is at issue might not be discharged either because it's for the company, and her name is not on the company. So do your research, understand the bigger picture. I know you got to hurry, rush, get it posted on the blog real quick. I want to beat that person, but it's better to do your research so people like me won't call you out. It's better to do your research because if it's directly or insinuates that I told untruth, I'm going to have to address it. I'm just going to have to address it, and plain and simple, because I don't owe anything to anyone, not Cardi, not Tasha K, not anyone when it is about truth. And I said early on to that individual, indirectly, you probably shouldn't go this route. But this is the concept. Once you get, listen, I used to compete in martial arts. Once I got in that circle, I knew what it was. Before I stepped in, did I second guess myself? No, because if I go in there with second guess myself, I get my head knocked off. I would get my head knocked off second guessing myself. So when I go into something, I got to make sure it's what I want to do. I'm not going to second guess myself when I know that my head could get knocked off. I'm not going to do that. So enough is enough. And I'm not even going to, like, when I'm working, I'm not looking to see what the Shade Room posted or what Hollywood Unlocked posted or Neighborhood Talk posted to give validity to my story. I don't use that as a source material. I don't use fiction books as source material. I don't use rumors, innuendos, and gossip as source material. And you shouldn't want anyone providing you content that is laced with all that. You shouldn't want that. So that's my gripe with the Neighborhood Talk. Don't take it the wrong way. The OG is just trying to give you some game, player. That's all it is. Don't take it. Don't say, oh, he's attacking me. No, I'm not attacking you. But anyone that you have working for you, you should want them to have integrity, bring integrity to your platform. Just like I reached out to attorneys and consulted with them and brought them on my platform. You should want that as well. But don't play into people's faces. Say, oh, no, it's not. What is it, 3-card Monty game? 3-card Monty? No. Just be honest with the people, because people are looking at you. You know, people are intaking this. There are people who probably didn't go to school, maybe high school, maybe not finish high school, maybe didn't go to college. They may not have a discernment for information. They may think it's fact what you're reporting. They may think it's fact. And I think that while social media has flagged the proprietors or owners of social media, Meta and not Twitter so much, and actually them too, they put warnings on certain things as disinformation. So this is my warning to this Neighborhood Talk. When you communicated what you communicate to the people, you weren't being honest and factual. Because I didn't say it was dismissed. No, but it's that part is removed. So I'm here. People, I literally got like 30 messages in my DM. Well, the Neighborhood Talk said this. They said this. Stop it. Stop using these blogs for your source. Stop. If they can't bring you the source material, shout out to the lead attorney. He did a live within the last 7-8 hours and spoke about it. And shout out to XSL Magazine. And shout out to the other people that have real journalists on their team. And shout out to Pamela, Attorney Pam. Shout out to Ikeki El Shabazz. And shout out to Gerald Griggs. And shout out to Mawali Davis. And shout out to Brittany Dobbins. The reason why I'm shouting these people out, these are attorneys. These are experts. These are people who go to school. They got their Juris Doctorate in reading documents and understanding documents. You wouldn't know what it takes to become an attorney until you have to actually do that stuff. You wouldn't know. So start getting your material from people that won't just give you BS for the hell of giving you BS for your coins. I thank God that I don't have to survive on YouTube or Instagram for my livelihood. It's getting crazy and weird out here. It's getting weird out here in these YouTube streets. If you're not going to be honest to the people, you probably should sit down somewhere. Really? So that's what my gripe is. That's what my gripe is. Don't play with my experts, because my experts will run circles around you. They will run circles around you. They will literally run circles around you. I didn't think I really had to do this. I mean, it's 2023 now. I thought people would understand what the damage and despair that they bring to people when they start giving misinformation. I really do. So just be responsible. Don't take this as an attack on you or your brand. Just take this as wisdom from an OG. That's all. Just take it as wisdom, little wisdom that hurt anyone. I say that to you, Kyle, like I'll say it to my kids. Be responsible what you do. The coins will run out, but your integrity will last you a lifetime. That's all. That is all. I don't know about what people tweet who can't read. I can read. Very much so. I listen again. I'm gonna say this, and I want you guys to understand. When I report stories, I don't wish harm on people. Don't conflate what I say to mean anything other than I'm reporting the story. Have I done a little trolling? You can troll and be honest about it. I may be guilty of a little trolling, minor trolling, but I can cite some journalists that troll that are on your television screen all the time. Shout out to Anderson Cooper. I see what you're doing out there. But yeah, and then the other part to this that I want to speak on this as well. I am a Black journalist. Having to say this to another Black entrepreneur. I'm a Black journalist. And guys, I'm gonna say that if you hear a little list, it's because I had a little tooth issue. I'm working through it, so you might hear a little, not, but that part. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, my tooth is bothering me, so when you hear a little, you know what it means. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm a Black journalist. And then when I see a Black businesses, we don't have enough support from our Black media already. And then when I see stuff like this happen, I'm like, damn, don't even play me like that. Don't play me like that. Don't do that. Because I knew what it was. My post on Twitter right now has over 500,000 views. 500,000 views. And it has those views because there are people that listen to what I'm talking about. They can believe what I'm telling them. I don't need to have the million subscribers. I don't do YouTube that much. Someone said, you're not in they shadow ban y'all because I don't see you online, because I'm not online a lot. I'm on Instagram sometimes, but I'm not online a lot. Because my life is more than just social media. But when I get on it and I'm doing my story, don't do that. Because then I may approach it a little differently. That's all. So with that said, we are in not directly, but there's a war happening right now with in Israel with the Hamas, who controls Gaza. So Watch how this war is going right now. Just watch this, because this is the first in many decades that Hamas has reacted in the manner in which they did, especially during this Jewish holiday. It's a Jewish holiday right now. So I'm watching it. I'm kind of monitoring what's happening with that right now. And while I know a lot of you don't care about the wars that are happening outside, but you should, because we got to see how our president reacts to the war that's happening outside the country. So I'm kind of following that story, but you guys just understand that I do this for real. I'm not really here for the clicks and views. They help if I'm doing the right thing. Otherwise, if I'm not, I'm just stealing your money. I'm stealing your money. Someone said, "What's happened?" Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me just go ahead and give me a second here, guys. We're going to talk about not too much on this channel, on this page, but we're going to talk about what's happening in Israel and what's going on with the Palestinians and how the Hamas has launched an attack on Israel during their time of religious time of religious holiday. But we'll talk about that on my next live. I also want to talk about this ridiculous, and this is not news. It's news. It's very much news. Let's stop it. What the hell is Kevin Gates doing? What the hell is this? I have to say weirdo doing. And yes, it's weird what I saw. Him spitting in a young lady's mouth and her being there. I was disgusted. Kevin Gates, what the hell are you doing? Just weird. I don't know if you've seen that. I was disgusted. I mean, it's savagery. What type of ritual crap are you on? Disgusting. And I'm talking about the video that's circulating where you see Kevin Gates putting his saliva in a stranger's mouth on stage. Nasty. Oh! I hope you're not eating dinner. Oh, excuse me, breakfast. It could be dinner wherever you're around the world. It was just disgusting. And my point is, that should have never been seen. You can't unseen stuff like that. It made me just grossed out. It grossed me out. And she wasn't a lady. I'm sorry. That's not lady behavior. We use the term lady for people who carry themselves like ladies. That was disgusting and ritualistic and sad. And anyone that thinks stuff like that is acceptable, you might have to reevaluate your own life. It was disgusting. So, Kevin Gates, you take a major L for that, to even do that. I will never support your music, your show, or what you stand for at all. Never. Never. And the people in my circle, I'm probably sure they're not either. So, I'm sorry. The OGs, had some things on his chest this morning and had to get it off. This is a little humor here. I saw my guy Todd, Todd, who's married to Candy Burris. I saw a video that Michelle did, and I saw that Todd had launched his own channel. And I saw, when I watched that video, it seemed like Todd is crying out, and I'm like, free Todd. Todd is crying out. I'm seeing this. I'm surprised to see this after all these years. The two been together, and he's actually saying what he feels. And Todd, I hear you, but you got to communicate this with your lady. Let her know how you feel. Because you feeling like you under her thumb is crazy, and you feeling like you need to do a YouTube channel to bring more attention to it is crazy as well. Because I could see your wife was uncomfortable. Candy wasn't acting. She was uncomfortable with that video on her while you were talking about the situation. It wasn't acting. It was real. One thing you can read people's body language. And as he was talking, you could see her body, she was very uncomfortable. Plus, she's getting her makeup done and she's feeling like, okay, the world's seeing me in my preparatory state. And now my husband's kind of like calling me out. And then some of the things that she said during that video, you gotta watch it because I thought it was real interesting. And yeah, shout out to Michelle because I didn't even know about his, I didn't even know about his channel. Todd is cool for the most part. He's from New York. So I want to see what you're talking about anyway. Yeah, free Todd. Free Todd. Listen, I'm going. Hey, Freddie O, reach out to me, Freddie O. I need a free Todd shirt. I want a free Todd. Freddie O's Freddie O photos. He has a t-shirt store in Atlanta, and he does t-shirts. So I want a free Todd shirt because at that moment I felt for the brother. I felt like he needs to get out, be able to get out and hang out with his boys and everything. And while I agree with what Candy said about hanging out till 4 a.m. when you're married, but sometimes you hang out with your fellas. I'm not gonna hang out at a strip club at 4 a.m. because anything at 4 a.m. at a strip club and you married, I don't know. I think I don't want to be in that situation. Because that's temptation right there. And I get it, but sometimes he has to get around his own fellas. You can't be around under a woman's thumb all the time. You gotta hit your bros up. It doesn't even look good that you around her friends all the time. And you're their friends because that's your wife's friends. But you need your own independent bro circle. And you need to be able to move with the bros. And let the bros know what lines you're not going to cross when you're hanging out. But Todd was crying out. Todd, you can't say, oh, it's just jokes for TV. Nah, bro. A bro know what a bro's going through. And that wasn't for TV. You were not that creative. Because when she said, let's turn the camera on, let's stop it, you were still going in. It was like you was taking a little jab. I saw it. She was gaslighting. You were gaslighting her. And she was kind of responding, but she was trying to be very cool about it. So my point is, you got issues with your wife, fix that. Because many people saw it. We knew that wasn't acting. We knew that you felt a certain way. And we want you to be free. We know we know you probably in that dungeon most of the time. But Candy, let him go, Candy. I'm going to reach out to Todd. We're going to do some bro things, shoot some pool, go bowling. I really don't drink, but we're going to have some fun. And having fun don't necessarily have to be with hanging out with the chicks. You can have fun and kick the, like we go to cigar bars. And so I hate cigar bars. I really don't smoke, but it's just a vibe. So, but Candy, let Todd out. Free Todd. Free Todd. Oh, by the way, free Corey too. I'm talking about Corey. I'm talking about Corey Berman, the former football player. Free him too. I mean, shout out to Michelle again because she has some good content now. I don't really run a lot of people's content, like other people's content. I know I can do it, under the fair use. But yeah, free Todd and free Croy because that thing looks pretty crazy. And like, I almost feel uncomfortable with their situation because their situation can get real ugly. You got cops in your house because your wife is calling saying that you took her phones and you got to lock yourself in the bedroom and you got cops telling you get out. They feel uncomfortable being in your house. How do you have a cop in your house telling you they feel uncomfortable being in your house because you locked yourself in the bedroom? It's just weird. Now, if that was me, the black man, they may try to kick my door in. But free Todd and free Croy. Hey, Freddie, give me a shirt that says free Croy. Croy, give me a Todd shirt. I don't want Croy. We good, Croy. You know what you got on your hands. They call the cops on you once. That should be a flag for you already. Call the cops on you twice. That's crazy. There are people that are literally dying out here, and you're calling cops because you took a phone, or I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. Yo, let me post this. It's hilarious. I thought, listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I'm posted. I think this is funny. I'm gonna put that out there. Hold on. I'm gonna read some of your comments now, real quick. It's Croy with an I, with a Y, not an I. Take it. I know. I thought about that too. Uh, let me see here. Todd, put some bass in your voice. Todd, the next time you are talking to your wife, I want you to have this type of voice. I want you to say,
Candy, I wear the pants in this family, and you're not going to keep me in the dungeon anymore.
I do not want to hear you talking like to the bros with this kind of voice.
Candy, I just want to be left out the dungeon.
I don't want none of that. I want you to assert yourself. Like, what the heck going on here? Put some bass in your voice, sir. Man, that's crazy. You're right. Call 911. Man, that tells you guys, you're on the out. When you call 911, you're on the outs. You just don't know it yet, but you're on the outs. You're on the outs. Because if you ain't calling the counselor and you call 911, that's a problem. That's a real problem. You know, it's a problem. And you're sitting there, you know, you want to sell a house. It probably should sell a house. The house probably should be sold, get downsized. Don't let someone pull you. Don't let someone pull you in the ground because of their stubbornness, their arrogance. Don't let them pull you down. Because there are a lot of men who haven't come back from that. There are a lot of men who haven't bounced back from that. You got to know when to hold and you got to know when to fold. This might be a time, Todd. I mean, excuse me, not Todd, but Croy. Might be time for you to fold. Because if what's being reported is true and she has a gambling problem and she's not trying to deal with that, this might be a time to fold. Because at the end of the day, she's pulling you down. You know? You know? She's pulling you down. She's you know, she's called. Listen, I've checked. She's made these calls to 911. And you may get one of those cops who had a bad day and don't know how to use de-escalating skills. It may knock you upside your head. And you sitting there talking about, I took her phones, but I wasn't trying to hurt her. But this is what the black man deals with all the time. Let's be honest. This is what the black man deals with a lot. You know, they deal with this a lot. Don't weaponize the police because you can't get your way. Stop weaponizing the police because you can't get your way, because it ends up bad, very bad for people. You call them when it's life-threatening situations, but weaponizing the police to get your way is just next level disrespect. And ladies and fellas, don't use the police to weaponize the situation so you can get leverage. If it's a real situation occurring, call them. But if it's just, he took my phone, I get it. Go get another phone, replace it. The fact that you got to lock yourself out the room, that tells you. Listen, it's best to live in a small situation than a big one where you're miserable, because your home is your peace. If you're working and you come home and you don't get peace at your home, it's probably time for you to go find peace. It's probably that time to find peace. You probably need to reevaluate this whole situation and don't get tied down to the materialistic stuff, because when it's said and done, that's all gone. And what do you have? You don't have that, and you don't have peace. You just have destruction. It's just crazy. All right, guys, I do appreciate you joining me today. And let's see if I have answered any questions. Anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to read this right now. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right, I see a lot of comments. I'm just I said what I said. It's what it is. Don't conflate what I said to have personal issues with anyone. I have personal issues with no one. I got an issue with you. I have a legal issue with you. I'll deal with you legally. If I have a personal issue with you, as long as you don't crush my threshold, we good. We are so good. But it's my duty to be honest with you. And if I see someone doing something, I'm not scared. I don't care if you have 10 million. I'm going to call you out. I don't give a damn. I don't care if you have 50 million. I'm still going to call you out. I don't care. So don't think that, I'm going to be on the fence about it. I just thought it was very irresponsible. That wasn't even shady. It was just irresponsible. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I do appreciate your coming on my impromptu live. I will be back at some point. I don't know exactly when, but I will be back. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, call out those who are making a mockery of the profession. I'm out.